Hello and welcome back to the 30-day Stage to Screen Challenge. Today we're talking about the treasures of the public domain, and one of them, of course, is Shakespeare. We're going to take a short passage from Shakespeare, we're going to translate it into the vernacular, into everyday speech, use that to discover the emotion, and then we're going to take the emotion, the feeling, the motivations, we're going to put it back into the Shakespearean language so that we can move the audience because we understand what we're saying, we understand what we're doing, and if that's the case very often, the audience will understand what we're saying and what we want as well, even if there are some words in the piece that are not familiar to them. I've picked the opening speech by Antonio from The Merchant of Venice. One of the reasons why, recently, with a group of other actors on Zoom, I got to read through the entire play, because when you're going to do anything from Shakespeare, that is step one. If you're going to do a monologue piece or a short piece for your reel or for an audition or just for your own enjoyment of putting something up, creating something and getting it up on either your YouTube channel or little tiny pieces on TikTok or Facebook or Vimeo or wherever it happens to be. Step one with Shakespeare is to read through the entire script to get that good understanding of what your character, where your character's going, what they want, and what happens to them. Because one of the keys to acting is the actor knows more than the character until the very end of the play. Let me go ahead and read this speech to you. And what you'll see is it's pretty simple and straightforward. And there's only about one word in this speech that might not be particularly familiar to audiences today. And it is just simply in sooth, which translates as in truth. So what do you do when you have something that you don't understand, that you don't know the contemporary meaning? Well, that's where the lexicon comes in. Lexicon, Shakespeare Lexicon, and Quotation Dictionary, 2 volumes. There's a lot of information. So this volume is A to M, and then this volume is N to Z. So there's 2. However, luckily, we've really only got in sooth, which means in truth, actually, really, that's what it means. So let me go ahead and read the speech to you, just kind of straight, and we'll see what happens. In sooth, I know not why I am so sad. It wearies me. You say it wearies you. But how I caught it, found it, or came by it, what stuff 'tis made of, whereof it is born, I am to learn. And such a want-wit sadness makes of me that I have much ado to know myself. I hold the world as but the world, a stage, where every man must play a part, and mine, a sad one. Now, in this notebook, I've gone ahead and I've written my speech, and then I've also written out what I think it means, what it means to me in the vernacular, in common everyday speech. You notice how many more words there are? That's the amazing thing about Shakespeare, is that it is very often, it's not just prose. This piece is in verse, so it's also poetry. So Shakespeare has done his best to distill what Antonio is saying down into as few words as possible. He's put it in iambic pentameter, and he's turned it into poetry. But your job, poetry in some ways is kind of like a code, and your job as the actor is to decipher that code, discover all of the intentions and all of the emotions and all of the passion in it, and then transfer those feelings back into the words so you get the best of both worlds. You get the poetry of Shakespeare, you get the brevity of Shakespeare, but you get all of the richness of emotion that you can bring to the character as an actor. So here's my paraphrase. And as you'll notice, the paraphrase is twice as long as Shakespeare's text. I really don't know what's got me down. I really don't know what's making me sad. I am so sick and tired of it. And I know you're sick of it too, because you told me so. But how I came down with it, how I got it, who gave it to me, I don't know yet. I haven't figured it out. I am so sad that I feel like an idiot. And no matter what I do, I just don't know who I am anymore. All I do know is that the world is a stage where every man has to play his part. And my part is the bummer. Now, of course, I can do even better than that if I take a little bit more time, but that will do. And of course, it shows you why people aren't coming to see the paraphrase. They're coming to see the Shakespeare. That being said, when I paraphrased it, I get to go through all of the emotions that I believe that Antonio is going through. So let's take it back into Antonio's speech. Let's see if it's informed a little bit better with the emotions, with what Antonio's feeling. In sooth, I know not why I am so sad. It wearies me. You say it wearies you, but how I caught it, found it, or came by it, what stuff 'tis made of, whereof it is born, I am to learn, and such a want-wit sadness makes of me, that I have much ado to know myself. I hold the world as but the world, a stage, where every man must play a part, and mine a sad one. Let's dig in a little bit more deeply to what Antonio is feeling and see if we can find the conflicts, the drama, the emotion in the piece. So Antonio is not alone. He's come on with his two friends, Salerio and Solanio. And one of the things that's really important in the paraphrase and also in the speech is, he says, it wearies me. You say it wearies you. So we're wondering, where has he come from? Well, it seems to me that they've already told Antonio, snap out of it. We're really, really getting tired of this mood. And so now we know that not only is Antonio feeling sad, but other people know he's sad and they're getting tired of it too. So let's see if we can go ahead and get some of that emotion into the speech. I'm going to go ahead and go back to my paraphrase again. I really don't know what is making me so sad. I am sick and tired of it. And I know that you're sick of it too, because you told me so. So let's just go look at those two lines. In sooth, I know not why I am so sad. It wearies me. You say it wearies you. So Antonio is sad. His friends are tired of it. And now he's expressing that. Because one of the things that I want you to think of when you think about your monologues or the parts you play, most of us actors know that we're supposed to understand what we're feeling and what is our motivation. As the character, what do I feel and what do I want? But the next step is to ask yourself, what am I trying to do to the other characters in the scene with me? And it might be that Antonio is trying to get them to feel sorry for them, even though they're a little bit tired of his shtick. Let's see if that comes out in the speech this time. All right, one more time. In sooth, I know not why I am so sad. It wearies me. You say it wearies you. But how I caught it, found it, or came by it, what stuff 'tis made of, whereof 'tis born, I am to learn. And such a want-wit sadness makes of me, that I have much ado to know myself. I hold the world as but the world, a stage, where every man must play a part, and mine a sad one. So I think getting a little bit better, but every time I do it, I am discovering more in it. In a way, what I'm beginning to see now is, in sooth, I know not why I am so sad. It wearies me. You say it wearies you. But how I caught it, found it, or came by it, what stuff 'tis made of, whereof 'tis born, I am to learn. And such a want-wit sadness makes of me, that I have much ado to know myself. So now what I'm discovering, literally right here on camera in front of you, of this understanding of a rhythm of what is happening. Oh, I am so depressed. And I'm sick of my friends saying that I'm depressed. I don't know where I got it. I don't know where it came from. I don't know who gave it to me. And then it might be that he's affecting his friends in such a way that they're like, hey, it's not our fault. And it very well could be, well, such a want-wit sadness makes of me, that I have much ado to know myself, which very well could be, look, I'm so sorry. I am so sad I turn into a jerk and a moron, and I'm so sorry I don't even know myself. So as you can see, just in the short little speech, what we've got is such a variety of motivations, conflicts, and emotion, that all of a sudden it can become very vital and very interesting. Because one of the things that I want to leave you with is that as we transition from stage to screen, or what I would say to you if you are a young actor, if you're somebody who's just starting their acting career, very, very often you're not necessarily going to play Portia or Bassanio or Shylock. You're not necessarily going to play the lead in the play, but there's a good chance that you might be playing a character like Antonio or Salanio or Salerio. You're going to be playing secondary roles. Now, these are good roles, but very often the language in them isn't as easily or as well understood or recognized as the language of, say, Romeo and Juliet. Correct? Some of these parts that are very well known, people realize, if you go and you see Richard III, aha, that's one of Shakespeare's biggest villains, and we get to watch him. Now is the winter of our discontent made glorious summer by this son of York. And you might know those speeches and you might have a better idea of what they mean. And so the audience, your audience, if you're playing Hamlet or you're playing Richard or you're playing Juliet or Helena, maybe they're already familiar with it and that might make it a little bit more easy for you. But if you're not the big star and you're not coming in and playing the lead, how are you going to take one of these secondary roles? And even though Antonio is the title character, his speeches aren't as well known. How are you going to inform them and create them and put the emotion and the intention into them so that your audience understands perhaps not every word that you say, but they understand every emotion that you're expressing and every experience that you're sharing with them. And if you can do that, and especially also if you're a director and you're looking at how to help the actors who are playing the secondary roles, the supporting roles, if you can understand ways of helping them to fill those roles with awareness and emotion, you can create a Shakespearean play, a Shakespearean experience that's going to make people want to come back more and more and more because they understand it, they feel it, and they have the experience for themselves. So try that technique, taking a speech first, finding out what every word means, and then translating it into the vernacular, into everyday language, practicing it that way, and then putting those emotions back into your speech. I think you'll find that it's really helpful. All right, get out there, do more good things, and don't be afraid to move from stage to screen.